Oh,
yeah, you get to see the great events of Bowen Hills. It's a great place. Nice place. We're about to make 2,000 followers, subscribers on YouTube actually. It doesn't sound like much, but when you think about like 2,000 people being in like a building,
yeah,
that's a lot of people. Like that want to listen to you talk shit. This isn't cardio, you lazy bastard.
Bro, this is cardio.
This is just moving your feet.
This is slow, steady cardio. This is steps. This is burning calories.
I mean, I guess.
So it's cardio.
That's more just exercise.
Now I'm educating you, the educator.
I mean, if you're a pussy, it counts as cardio, I guess.
Bro, this will be a golden nugget. Is this cardio? Everyone's gonna say, yes, we agree with the videographer.
NEAT is non-exercise activity thermogenesis.
You're a thermogenesis.
This is not exercise, it's NEAT.
What time is this normally that you do this?
I do about now. Does it depend, like if we're training first before we go anywhere, we'll do when we get back, which is like 10 o'clock.
Yep.
But if it's on a Thursday or a Wednesday morning, normally we'll go for a walk first. So usually be around this time. Weekends we'll go for a walk first around this time.
Yeah.
When I look at following YouTubes and stuff where social media guys just film everything in the street and they don't care.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I haven't quite got my head around it yet.
Well, you're doing it right now.
Yeah, I know, but it feels weird.
It does feel weird.
I feel like everyone's just like,
Yeah. Who the fuck is this guy?
It's Ben Mayfield Smith
He's gonna do fucking nothing.
and Brooklyn Naylor.
why'd you say my last name like that?
Yeah.
Remember, this is the pre-cardio. This isn't cardio.
I don't want to hear the sirens.
Some headphones.
What difference is there between the headphones being on while you're driving and just having your stereo playing?
There's a big difference.
But what do you need to isolate? You're in the car by yourself. This is awkward.
Ben, ride this fucker home, please, and double me.
No.
Wait, and what are those shoes?
Yeah. Jordans are too flat to walk in and they're actually like comfortable. Training them, can't walk in them.
All right, Ben, favorite walking shoe?
Hey?
Go. Favorite walking shoe?
I don't really have one. Oh, fuck, hell.
Oh, he loves them. You know how much he loves those New Balances.
Oh, I love me some New Balance. Yeah, they're alright for walking actually. I'll give it to them. That's about all they're good for. Pair of New Balance and stubbies.
Are you not catching me dead in a pair of stubbies?
Oh, sorry. You can go back.
Did you get it?
I didn't hear it, sorry.
Oh.
I missed that one.
Do you enjoy killing fun?
Yes.
I thought so.
Ask my kids. Hey everyone, I'm Phil, the cameraman who makes all the magic happen for this guy. He feels a little bit awkward today because he's outside of his natural habitat, the gym, the powerhouse gym. So he doesn't know what to do, how to act,
My hands.
or where to put his hands. You look at the camera.
Look at this directing. I like it.
Big breath.
When did this happen?
And you got this.
Now I know what we're paying for. All right, guys. So today we're doing things a little bit differently. We're figure out what to do with my hands. Stepping outside of the gym, usual environment. Showing you guys the morning routine, how we do things to start the day, how we go through our processes across the day. We get done on Friday. So we get usually a Friday is a lot more of a work focused day. Up until last week, it was a uni day as well. We are now officially in exam breaks. Uni break. Got my grades back, distinctions across the year, which is fantastic. Never done that before, so that's pretty cool. So we're going through. We're training after this, meal prep. We got client check-ins, some client calls this afternoon. Catching up with a few old clients that are coming back, and yeah, probably get some more cardio done. Had to get check-ins done this morning for Chris. Friday's also check-in day for me. So one thing that I preach to everyone is that I also do my check-ins. I also make sure that I don't miss any boxes myself. So I uphold the standard that I preach to my team and make sure that I do that every week. So Friday mornings, we're up at 4:30 to beat sunrise. Get check-in photos done, 6:30, do check-in with Chris, fill in the documents, get them sent off to him, and then wait for any changes he sends back today, usually by mid-afternoon. So yeah, Fridays are a big day. We want to get something different, get outside of the gym, mix it up a little bit, stop just pumping out the vlogs. And this is the result of that. I don't know if this is my hands. Now we're here. I'll normally do, Chris has got me three times 25 minutes at the moment. So I'll usually do like today, Sundays, because they're an easy day, you don't have much on, so I'll do that. And then like a Wednesday or something like that as well. So just kind of pick like low workload days, just get it done. Do a fast little first thing in the morning, and then go about the rest of the day. So it's only 3 times 25 minutes at the moment, 25 minutes. Yeah, I normally have headphones, or watch a movie or YouTube or like podcasts.
Yeah.
So like some of the education guys like J3 University or something like that, do like something more about bodybuilding or like coaching content. If I have lectures, I might watch lectures while I'm out here, but obviously uni's finished up, so don't have to stress about that for a little while. Ooh. So if you're looking for some really good content while you're on your bike, there's this YouTube page called Matter Athletica. If you want to see some, hey, we made 2K, 2,000 subscribers. I knew we were close.
I don't know what to do. Welcome to Brooklyn's cooking show. Ben's cream of rice recipe. It's actually like a cake, so you'll normally have this before gym. 10 grams of cocoa powder, and then you have to add water to that first, otherwise the fat sticks to the fat in the cocoa sticks to the cream of rice and it makes it like shit. That's my technical term. This is my little mini whisk. And then you add protein powder, like I prepared earlier. And then you mix that together. And then was doing 80 grams of rice flour, is doing 60 now that he is dieting. So the baking powder makes it like really frothy. It turns into a cake. And then you add 15 grams of peanut butter.
What's up?
Color of like the Smurfs, you know?
So you cook it for a minute in the microwave. And then you add 100 grams strawberries and then a little bit of salt.
Antioxidants, kids, get them into you.
Vitamins.
Bro, you're like a cat. Scratching your back on shit.
Oh, it's your back, I can't reach you. What are we going to do about it? This is my stuff. This is my other stuff.
Oh, that's what we're going to do, go through the wardrobe.
I'm promising you there's nothing to go through.
this-
Told you. I have not fit a suit in 10 years. This is because I need to block out behind the camera. So check-ins get recorded. So it makes it a bit more professional. And we found when we were doing podcasts and stuff that the background, like the camera was trying to focus on too many things so it wouldn't like stabilize. And so you end up with a really awkward, like washed out look. So we got this as like a neutral background. Eventually it's gonna have Matter Athletica logos run up and down and that sort of thing. Just makes it more of a neutral background that just doesn't stress the camera as much when we're filming and recording. Plus when I do check-ins, the background is the mirror, so it kind of just makes it more plain and simple. And yeah, so that's what that's for. What we'll do next is probably actually set up, Brooklyn's got like a standing, like long mirror. So what we'll do is eventually start doing this for like when I have to do posing practice every single day. We'll set up her mirror in here so I can see myself in the long mirror and use the posing room here. I'll turn this into a bit of a posing room, so I'll move that out of the way and do like posing rounds here so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, so last night we had a podcast with Coach Nick Tintle, who is the founder and head coach of the Lacrosse Barn, which is literally the premier world-class facility in lacrosse training and development. So one of the things we'll do is a very easy strategy to use that we use is, or started using, is I'll take the content piece that we made and put it through an AI like reel generator, and basically take that one piece of content that was our podcast, and then rather than having to have Brooklyn spend hours making small 1 to 3 minute videos and snippets, that content piece then basically turns into 30 or 40 pieces that we can then use as reiterate, share, and post around for shorts and Instagram reels. So yeah, that's a a way we try and streamline the process. So one of the things that we as a small company try to do is something that I find I'm really efficient at, and probably what I would call my best business acumen, is systemizing and structuring and processing very repeatable stuff. So I'm not the best programmer, I'm not the world's best this or that. I just get really good at systemization and making sure that stuff is systemized as possible so that I can actually just return to doing my job, which is coaching, and standardizing and structuring as much of the day-to-day stuff as possible, whether it be the back-end business stuff or whether it be client-facing stuff that doesn't really require actual coaching. So if you can, as a small business, whether you're a one-man team, 2 or 3-man team, systemizing stuff so that you aren't repeating the same thing every single day. If you can standardize it, streamline it, and basically automate it, you will save yourself a shit ton of time. So that buys back Brooklyn several hours a week. Every time we do a podcast, instead of her having to go through that snippet, break it down, I can do this now, and we've got equal as many content pieces out of that one podcast. She doesn't have to spend 2 or 3 hours breaking it down. It's already done for us. She then has more time to edit other stuff or put stuff out for herself. So yeah, that's kind of how we do it when it comes to podcasting, recording, chatting to people. Just trying to make it as useful as possible and turn it into multiple tiers of content and maximize that time and efficiency. So yeah, there's a little, I thought it was already up from last night's chat. You know, we were talking, I think I said this morning, it started like 10 o'clock and finished at like 11:30. So technically only got about 5 hours sleep. Sorry, Chris, you're not gonna be too happy about that. But sometimes when it comes to getting these people on podcasts, on Zoom, on Riverside, you know, you got to make it do what you got to do. So yeah, does that. Thought it'd be worth sharing.
How has matter evolved from what people thought it was to what it is now?
Ooh. Well, I'll go back to probably the first time that it was passively communicated. It was called, or when speaking to some friends, if you will, it was referred to as our little PT business, which to me I think was an interesting little stab. Whilst I don't think it was intentionally trying to be a dig, knowing what we were trying to build and what it was going to be, the way it was worded to be called a little PT business was definitely something that amped me up a little bit, and in the great words of the GOAT, I took it personally. And then to see it now, as we've started to build it into what I think is more of a performance-orientated system, something that is more attuned to identity change, lifestyle modification, high-performance expectation and execution, that is just delivered through the means of physique composition. Yeah, I think it's changed drastically over the last 5 years, in line with what we had intended for it to become, but I think it's just actually starting to solidify itself as that now.
What has been the lowest point of either the prep or business or both?
The lowest point for prep was probably the last one that I had to pull out on. I've never technically quit anything that I've started unless it was physically taken away from me. So to get to a point where I'd done all the work and I'd done everything that I could and ticked every box and know that it wasn't going to be enough or I wasn't going to get there, that was probably a low for me, in the sense of how I operate as an athlete. For the business, the lowest point, I don't think there's ever been truly like a low point. I just think there's continually low points where you feel at different stages that it's not happening, but then at the same time, right around that point where you just continually put in the work, that next thing takes off and happens. So I don't think there's ever really been a low point in the business. There's, you know, points where it's like, is it worth it? Is this going to pay off? Is the risk, you know, worth the reward? You know, going back to the first day that I quit my last job, I'd sold every share I had. I had a share portfolio, I had a financial portfolio. I sold that all down and put it all into the company to make sure that we had some money for myself to survive. It wasn't even just to invest in the company, it was actually to make sure I had a paycheck, because we had 4 clients paying, 3 clients that were free, 1 client that owed us like $1,000 in invoices. So yeah, there was a whole lot of stuff done up front that had to buy into the bigger picture, that I think was kind of laying the foundations for where we got to. So I don't think it's a low point per se, but I definitely think there was challenges in growing the business that required a lot of belief where other people would have quit.
Is there a part during this process, like the prep process, that still surprises you each time?
I think the surprise each time is how much better you get at handling the hard stuff. Like, one of the things that I try to teach people is to understand that the more hard things you do, the better you get at adapting to hardship and being able to handle and tolerate it. You develop like a psychological and physiological resilience. So especially for me, I already do things quite hard. I deliberately choose to do harder and harder things and push myself to higher levels. So even for me, when I go through that in a prep and I find it to be, I'm better adapted this time, or I'm better at handling the hunger, or I'm better at handling the cardio or the pose and the requirements, I think every time it gets a little bit easier to tolerate the hard stuff. It doesn't mean that the hard stuff is any easier. It's just that you develop a thicker skin at tolerating hardship. And then eventually you realize, when you start to look at it through a different lens, when it comes to stuff like a prep, I'm choosing to suffer it and go through it. Comparatively to other stuff I've been through in life, such as, dad passing away, spinal injuries in my back, the stuff of prep is not really that difficult. Me and Tintel actually talked about this last night. When you go through hard things, unfortunately, that life throws at you, you kind of develop a natural knack to tolerate hardship a bit more than other people. So there's a blessing and a curse to going through hardship, and then you eventually start to realize, I think in stuff like preps, it's a little bit easier every time you do it because you get a little bit better at adapting to hard things. Yeah.
What do you hope to see in 2026 for the business or personal development?
2026 is going to be a big year, I think, in all facets of what we do. So the second semester of next year is going to be the biggest workload that I've ever had, ever. But it's also in order for me to finish my degree on time and without having to extend it out a whole nother year. So I'll be doing third year subjects, 3 subjects in the semester, plus we'll be managing to go to America again. We've got several athletes potentially on stage, plus the business itself is growing, the rate of content we're putting out. So I know that by the end of next year, it'll be the highest workload that I've ever had. But at the same time, I know that if we get through that, it then frees up a whole lot for us to put into work the following year. So the way I kind of see it is that 2026 kind of becomes a pivot year for us in the sense of a new workload capacity, a new threshold that we can operate from. I'll also have competed again for the first time in 3.5 years, which I've rarely gone through a prep confident, but I'm very confident in what me and Chris are going to do. So taking that to the start of the year and then building off that momentum for the back end of the year, I think is going to be really important for us as a company, as a brand, and myself as a coach. So that's kind of what I see 2026 as, it's kind of like a scaffold year for us where it's going to take us up to the next level. And then from that, I then have a full year without any study or uni before I decide if we do post-grad or not. That'll let me just dedicate purely to growing the business. And we start weighing up, where does in-person facility look like for us as a company and a brand.
So with how regimented you are, you don't often talk about things that have slowed you down, like the people, setbacks, or business or training. What has slowed you down, and has that taught you to not, can you see those patterns again and not have them in the way?
Yeah, so one of the things that I try to do is every time we go through a lesson, if you will, if a client leaves dissatisfied, or if there's been unclear expectations or anything that's on the service side of things, I take that really personally. I take as extreme level of ownership over that outcome as I possibly can. something that I did led to that position and that experience of that client that I don't ever want to repeat. So I will break down as much as I can from start to finish of that interaction, from beginning of coaching, onboarding, funneling, through to the day we finished the show, the day we finished their result, the day they did a photo shoot, whatever it might be, so that I can look through that and find everything I possibly did that I can then refine, improve, and implement and get better, so that that doesn't happen again. So, we've had clients step away. We've had clients that finished their preps and they were satisfied, they were unsatisfied. But to me, it's always a chance that then I can look at that, refine and get better, and never repeat that same mistake. So to me, everyone's entitled to mistakes. A one-off is fine. You're going to make mistakes and things are going to go wrong, or they might not go as planned or predicted. That's just the nature of bodybuilding, body composition, things like that. But if you repeat the same mistakes, to me, that's a choice. And so if you don't take accountability for that as a coach, as a business owner, on the front-facing side of the company, then you are just asking to repeat the same problems, and that becomes a choice that you've decided to do. So for me, I refuse to let that happen. And anytime I get a result or experience that I didn't intend to get or want to get, I will break that down until I can find the exact detail, the reason that it went wrong, and then make sure that I improve it. And then at a certain point, it then becomes outside of my control. So it's not, there's always going to be stuff that someone else did or someone else said, but there's no point me harping on about that because I can't change it. I can't change that person did that, said that, went through that. All I can look at is what was my involvement in that process, in that equation, and how do I impact those variables so that that doesn't happen again. And I'll take that through business, through competing, through comp preps, through study. If I get a result I didn't want, like I got to sit, this grade I got for this semester, I got 2 6s, which is both distinctions. What I was dissatisfied with was I needed to figure out what percentage I need to get a 7. So I will break that down, look at where I went wrong in my grades, in my study, what my formatting was, what my grammar was. How do I take that 6 and make it a 7 so I get high distinctions? So I'll take that in everything that I do to make sure that I don't repeat the same mistakes.
You often talk about how freeing structure is. Any examples about where you would use this to teach it to your clients?
So a really easy one for this is time management. It's one of the most freeing structures to put in place, but people are often reluctant or refuse to acknowledge it. They look at it as controlling, restrictive. The amount of time that I buy back for clients, if I really look at one of the biggest factors I get, is improving client sleep by improving the time that they have available, because we've improved time management and efficiency. When you generally get a new client that struggles with sleep or doesn't get enough sleep, the first thing I'll do is start to look at the hours before they go to bed and the hours they wake up. And what you'll find is there is no structure to how they do things. There's no structure how they wind down. There's no structure to how they end their night. There's no process to how they should sleep or how they should set up their sleep environment. And so they kind of go to bed chaotic. They go to bed unstructured. They go to bed unplanned. So they wake up anxious the next day. They don't have strategies for the morning. They don't have things laid out for the morning. And so it's kind of passive and reactive to life. But then you'll notice in their data that they're only getting 5 hours sleep, 6 hours sleep. It's a 2 out of 5 in terms of sleep quality and depth. So what we start to implement is structure around what time they go to bed, what their sleep and nutrition, what their nutrition is around their sleep hygiene, when they last have coffee, what they're doing preparing for the morning the next day, what time their alarm is to go to get up, and then also what time is their alarm to go to bed. All that creates a little bit of rigidity of a rigid process at the start, and it feels a little controlling and overwhelming. But what happens is you start to develop a structure that allows you to get and buy back more time. That then frees you up to do more things across your day. You're more rested, more recovered. You have more time available because you have an improved efficiency level. So when you structure yourself and put that control in place at first, yes, it feels a little bit more rigid and it feels a little bit more controlled, but then eventually that starts to become freedom to do other things. And now I can buy back time elsewhere. Where can I steal another 15 minutes? Where can I steal another half an hour? Where can I improve your process and stack several habits together over here? Now all of a sudden you have all this extra time in your day that you otherwise couldn't meal prep, couldn't get to sleep on time, you weren't in bed on time, you weren't getting 7 hours sleep, you weren't spending time with your partner. we can now buy that back. So to me, it's a non-negotiable rule that you develop freedom by establishing structure.
How many ab rollouts can you do? I'm like that guy who goes around to bodybuilders. How much do you weigh right now? Let's see if you're line 20. I want to see 20. Oh, he's doing it.
This is my core workout for the day now. I don't have to do it at the gym.
3.
This is actually more painful for my knees. I'm not like Phil. Phil's used to being on his knees more. See, because it's a mid-action shot, you have to leave that in.
I know.
Yeah.
I just.
Phil's reaction.
Brooklyn just laughed a little too hard at that joke. I was talking about on your toes, bro. That's not 20.
Nah, I'm not doing it on top of my toes. There's 0 chance of that happening. No. Wasn't even sweating yet.
Nice. So you're training today with Big Tom.
I believe so, yeah.
Do you prefer training by yourself or with a partner?
It depends on the person that I'm with. If it's someone that I know will keep me locked in and keep me actually training hard, then I love it because I can push a few extra reps or risk taking a little bit of jump in weight. But if it's someone that's chatty, easily distracted, will drag the session out another hour or so, then yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. Cameras are different. Like it's actually, ironically, one of the things I try to teach people is live as if your entire life is being filmed on camera and see how you operate. So when the camera's at the gym, I actually probably train just a little bit harder or train at more of my capacity. If I train with someone who's a bit more chatty, it takes away from the intensity and the focus. During a prep, I just refuse to do that. So it's got to be someone that I know, that I've trained with, that I've locked in with before. And me and Tom have trained together for 7 or 8 years now. So I always know that he'll push me if I need to, especially in a prep. We'll have a chat between sets, stuff like that. But once the set's actually started, there's no shit. So someone like Tom is great. If it's someone else, I'll be pretty particular with who I train with.
We won't say names, will we?
Oh.
Oh, that still looks good.
This
Oh, look at that.
molten peanut butter. So it turns into like a cake.
And you get to eat that.
Yeah.
Are you meant to eat it cold or?
Normally,
You would normally do it hot.
but it's like a mud cake, and then like the middle of it's like a lava.
Check-ins,
Client check-ins.
calls, training. We'll probably film some training. So by the time we get back home, I'll generally crack into them after lunchtime. Like usually I'd actually do cardio after I train and like cool down a little bit, just to maximize morning efficiency and get things done. So normally what happens is I'd come back, do cardio done, have my first meal, and then crack into check-ins at like midday. So I spent a long time trying to figure out how I best operate in terms of like day structure and when I execute things. Getting all my physical stuff out of the way early takes care of that so that I can just lock into the afternoon and get all my work done for clients. So generally what will happen is we'll come back from training. If I don't have uni, we'll get stuck into check-ins and get that all ticked off. So by now, clients will have done their feedback forms, put their data in, tick the boxes on the app, provide me any information, then I'll do their check-ins and send it back to them with what we've got to change, do or work on for the next week.
How long does that process normally take?
Friday's a big day. It takes anywhere from like 4 to 6 hours. Depends on how detailed they are. So wide variety of clients. Like one of the biggest things, and we've got some content coming on this actually, is as clients, the biggest way to maximize your value with a coach is take your time to put in detail. Like Chris, for example, with my check-ins will be 15 minutes every week because I put in all the information, I ask questions, what he wants to see from me, what I need to change, what he wants to improve, whatever. The best thing for us as coaches is when we get more detail and we get more data, so then we can work with more stuff. If you got a one-word answer on a feedback form that's like, how was your week? Great. I can work with it, but it's better if that was, well, actually this happened in this part of the week and this happened and these things happened. Suddenly I start to better understand how you work and what happens across your week. So it depends on the clients as they get more clear on that and they develop that trust with me to share more information. Some check-ins can be 5 minutes long with more instruction to give me more information. Some check-ins will be 15, 20 minutes. So it really just depends on the day and how everyone showed up. And yeah, that'll dictate kind of how long the day goes for. I'll try and break it up, like, because Friday's a big day. I think I have like 14 check-ins on a Friday. I'll try and break up blocks of it. So like I'll do a bunch of check-ins, go for a walk, get some coffee, have a meal, come back, recharge, do it again. Because it does get a little bit, like you start to get a little bit of a zap where it's like, you know, your first check-in's great, energy's high, gets to like check-in 7 or 8. You're like, I need to break for this for a second. So that, you know, for us as coaches, we've done 20 check-ins, 10 check-ins, whatever. But for that client, that's the only interaction they have with us at the time. So it's our responsibility to make sure that we show up for every single client's check-in to make sure that we're at the best we can be, because that's what they're paying for. They don't care about how tired you are. So for my approach is to make sure that I bring the best level that I can. So I'll just kind of do it in chunks so I don't wear myself out working straight through.
Fun coaching stuff.
Fun coaching stuff.
Do you play the PlayStation?
I do actually.
Is that like your downtime, get away from it all?
Yeah, I'll like, depending on the subject, I actually find that I study really well by playing Sony. So like for my head, the way it works is if I can have a distraction or a stimulus that's taking the frontal part of my brain away from it a little bit more, I can decrease the over anxious side and then extract the information better. So like we'll do a process sometimes depending on the subjects that I have. I'll do like rote recall, memory recall, and like solidifying information with like definitions, terms, objective and subjective examples. I'll find it easier to recall that information if I'm distracted by playing the Sony and she just kind of like calls out the word. And so then I'll reiterate that back on what we're doing. Other times I'll just play the Sony because I want to chill out. Like I generally won't do it as much during uni because I'll be in there studying or like going through multi-choice exams or mock exams, stuff like that. But if it's just like this time of year, I'll probably play it a couple of times a week just to chill out and relax before I go to bed.
So what are we playing?
It'll rotate. So I've got Far Cry 5 in there at the moment. I've got Borderlands 3. I'm playing that again as a different character type. I was playing Diablo 4, but I beat that 4 times. So I kind of got bored of that pretty quickly. What else is there? Yeah, I just bought Hearts of Iron 4 for PC. I was playing Total War.
Feels like what?
Where's FIFA? Where's Madden?
Tekken.
Where's Tekken? I fucking school you at Tekken.
Oh, fuck. It's on, bro.
Oh,
Do you got Tekken in there?
I think I do actually. Injustice is a great game. It's Tekken but for DC. It's the same thing. It actually even has Tekken characters in there, I'm pretty sure, or Mortal Kombat. Same thing. Shadows of War is pretty good for Lord of the Rings. Did you ever play that? Oh, it's a good game. Oh yeah.
I've never even watched the movie.
Oh, you can leave. Oh.
Sorry. Sorry, Kyle. What movie?
Lord of the Rings.
Any of them? Oh. Sorry.
I've actually
Should have warned you he was.
No,
Should have warned you he was 12.
I've met one of the guys who worked on and built the sets in New Zealand, man.
Oh, so that means you don't have to watch it?
Exactly.
So basically, like the whole country, pretty much the entire country population worked on that movie.
Yeah.
All 300 of them basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please.
All right, guys. So that has been our morning routine. Phil threw me out, made it weird, changed my system and setup. I wasn't a fan of it, but we're here. We got through it. We'll do better next time. But no, yeah, that's really just how we kind of get through a day, start things off, gets us in the right frame of mind to get our work done, get everything complete, and yeah, just basically show up as a business. We'll go train from here, get everything done there, get some more posing done. We'll probably capture that as well, throw that into the video at some point, do some nice extra content for Phil because he likes to look at that, and yeah, get on with our Friday. So we'll try and keep more of this content coming, mix it up a little bit more. If there's anything particular you want to see or have us go through, share, let us know, and we'll try to include that in the next one. So yeah.
Pushing myself to the limit. If I never give up, I'ma win. Pushing myself to the limit.